psych, psych, with psychiatrists and programs, and Ian was like, I'm tired of talking, Mom. My favorite thing about myself is being Ian's mom.
Did you know that Regina King's life has been marked by three things: divorce, racism, and death? It is said that Regina King's career and personal life are two opposing aspects. While her career has been going extremely well, her personal life has been filled with hardship and sadness. Watch this video closely to learn about the terrible things she went through. Let's get started. When it comes to Regina King's life, the first thing people often think of is divorce. The emotional impact of her parents' separation was something that King carried with her into adulthood. Despite the success she found in her professional life, her personal relationships were not always smooth. In 1997, King married music producer Ian Alexander Sr., and together they welcomed their son, Ian Alexander Jr. For a time, the couple shared the joy of parenthood, and King balanced her career with the responsibilities of being a wife and mother. However, as time went on, their marriage began to deteriorate, and the arguments and tension became unavoidable. Sadly, in 2007, after 9 years of marriage, King and Ian Alexander Sr. divorced. The end of her marriage was particularly difficult for King, as it evoked memories of her own parents' contentious separation. In the anthology He Never Came Home, King candidly reflected on her feelings of guilt and regret, knowing that her son, much like she had as a child, witnessed his parents fighting. She wrote, "I was married for 9 years before my husband and I separated and eventually divorced, just as I'd watched my parents arguing and fighting. My son watched his parents arguing and fighting. It was like history repeating itself, and I felt terrible about him having to witness that." The thought of history repeating itself weighed heavily on her, as King understood the emotional toll that divorce can take on a child. Yet, despite the pain and challenges, King and her ex-husband made a conscious effort to foster a healthier dynamic post-divorce, particularly for the sake of their son. Unlike the breakdown of her own parents' relationship, which left her father largely absent from her life, King and Alexander Sr. managed to rebuild a friendship rooted in mutual respect and shared parenting goals. King acknowledged this transformation in her reflections, sharing, "It's kind of crazy to think that I've now been divorced longer than I was married, but I appreciate the journey because it brought my ex and I back to a friendship that helped us become great co-parents." This positive shift enabled both of them to prioritize their son's well-being and ensure that he had the love and support of both parents, even though they were no longer together as a couple. Following her divorce, King approached her personal life with greater discretion. For a time, she found companionship with actor Malcolm Jamal Warner, whom she began dating in the early 2000s. Unlike many high-profile Hollywood relationships, King and Warner chose to keep their romance largely out of the public eye. In a 2012 interview with the Daily Beast, King explained her decision to maintain privacy, saying, "I have to keep something for me, and that has to be my personal relationships. Neither one of us is out there talking about it, and we won't be." This approach underscored King's desire to protect her personal life from the scrutiny that often accompanies fame. Unfortunately, the relationship did not last, and the two reportedly parted ways in 2013, as reported by the New York Daily News. The tragedies that Regina King endured did not stop there. Throughout her career, King faced numerous challenges that required her to make difficult choices that ultimately reflected her deep commitment to her son, Ian Alexander Jr. In the balance of her life, King made one thing clear: her role as a mother always came first. While many actors are known for jet-setting between movie sets and filming locations, King made a conscious and unconventional decision when Ian was about 9 years old. She refused to accept acting jobs that took her outside of their hometown of Los Angeles. This choice came at a critical juncture in her career when the opportunities to expand into bigger films and high-profile roles were available. However, for King, the decision was simple. She wasn't willing to sacrifice consistency and stability in her son's life for the sake of professional success. In an interview with CBS This Morning Saturday, King opened up about this pivotal choice. When host Michelle Miller asked if it was difficult to turn down projects, King's response was direct and resolute. No. I've seen so many examples of parents that have had to make the choice to not be there as consistent in their children's lives. And just kind of what the aftermath was of that. King had witnessed the fall-off that could occur when children lacked the presence of a parent, perhaps reflecting on her own experience growing up with an absent father after her parents' divorce. She was determined not to let her son endure the same. King recognized the long-term impact of these decisions and chose to prioritize her presence in Ian's life over pursuing every professional opportunity that came her way. In an interview with InStyle, King further elaborated on this choice, describing it as the biggest career risk she had ever taken. What comes to mind is that the biggest risk I took career-wise was not to take any jobs outside of LA when Ian was about 9 years old, she said. By staying close to home, King consciously pivoted toward television roles, which offered her more flexibility and stability. While this shift might have been seen as limiting her career at the time, King approached it with gratitude and perspective. Speaking to She Knows, King reflected on how her decision, though difficult, ultimately led to unexpected rewards. She explained, "That's how my TV career started. The answer is, most of the time, making the tough choice leads you down a beautiful path." Her decision to focus on television roles allowed her to build an impressive resume in series like Southland, The Boondocks, and American Crime, which not only showcased her versatility as an actress, but also earned her critical acclaim and industry recognition. In addition to divorce and the difficulties of motherhood, Regina King also faced another serious problem: racism. She has long understood that being Black in America comes with a unique and painful set of challenges that extend into the representation of Black people, particularly Black men, in media and culture. As an actress, director, and a vocal advocate for change, King has continually sought to influence how Black stories are told and to highlight the layers of humanity, strength, and complexity that are often overlooked. Her directorial debut, One Night in Miami, 2020, stands as a powerful example of her commitment to this mission. The film dramatizes a fictionalized meeting between 4 iconic Black figures, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown, on the night of Ali's, then Cassius Clay, victory over Sonny Liston in 2008, 1964. While these men are remembered as giants in their respective fields, King's approach focused on humanizing them, portraying their vulnerability, their struggles, and their layered relationships. In an interview with InStyle, King explained her vision for the film. "It really humanized them. I feel like we don't get the opportunity to see Black men like this, and most of us have Black men who are this layered in our lives, who have this much love and strength and vulnerability. The portrayal of Black men in media has historically been narrow, often reducing them to stereotypes that perpetuate damaging narratives. Black men are frequently depicted as aggressive, dangerous, or emotionally unavailable, which erases their humanity and feeds into harmful societal biases. King's work in One Night in Miami offered a much-needed counter-narrative by showing these legendary men not only as powerful and influential, but also as friends, thinkers, and human beings wrestling with their roles in a racially unjust society. The film sparked important conversations about Black identity, leadership, and solidarity, conversations that felt especially urgent during 2020, a year marked by the Black Lives Matter protests and national reckoning with racial injustice. King's activism, however, extends beyond her work as a filmmaker. At the height of the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020, she used her platform to demand justice and honor those who lost their lives to police violence. When she attended the 2020 Emmy Awards, where she won Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited Series or Movie for Watchmen, she made a powerful statement with her attire. King wore a shirt featuring the face of Breonna Taylor and the words, "Say her name," a call to remember Taylor, a Black woman who was killed by police in her own home in Louisville, Kentucky earlier that year. By wearing the shirt on one of Hollywood's biggest nights, King ensured that Taylor's story reached millions and underscored the ongoing fight for justice for Black women, who are often sidelined in discussions of police violence. For King, Hollywood has both the power and the responsibility to influence how society views race and justice. In an interview with Harper's Bazaar in 2021, she called out the entertainment industry's role in perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Hollywood has been responsible for perpetuating the idea that officers should use excessive force on Black people, and I'm not down with that. She recognized how media, through films, television, and news, can reinforce the dehumanization of Black people by justifying or normalizing police brutality. Yet, she also acknowledged the ways in which storytelling can be used for good. On the flip side, I've been a part of projects that actually shine a light on the reality of the police's relationship with the Black community. Furthermore, Regina King is deeply aware of the complexities that come with living at the intersection of Blackness and womanhood, a reality that has presented her with unique challenges throughout her life and career. As a Black woman in Hollywood, a space historically fraught with systemic bias, King has had to overcome not only gendered barriers, but also racial obstacles that have long shaped the industry. She has navigated these challenges with determination and grace, emerging as a powerful voice and a symbol of resilience for countless women who share her identity. In a candid conversation with The Hollywood Reporter, filmmaker Gina Prince Bythewood asked King if she felt she was touching greatness. King's response was both reflective and revealing, highlighting the societal conditioning that Black women often face. She explained, "I feel like just as Black women, we are so conditioned to not feel that it's okay to want to be great." King's words speak to a deeper truth about the experiences of Black women, a systemic expectation to shrink themselves, to accept less, and to be content with what they are given rather than reaching for their full potential. This internalized pressure, shaped by societal norms, often forces Black women to fight harder for recognition, even when their talent and contributions are undeniable. The notion of striving for greatness can be particularly fraught for Black women, who are often unfairly judged or overlooked in industries where power and visibility remain predominantly centered around white men. King's observation reflects the weight of these systemic issues, which are compounded by the intersectionality of race and gender. Black women are frequently expected to endure more, prove themselves repeatedly, and remain resilient in the face of challenges, all while being discouraged from celebrating their own achievements. King's miscongeniality to co-star Sandra Bullock echoed these sentiments in a 2020 interview with Vanity Fair, where she praised King's strength and perseverance while also acknowledging the additional hurdles King has faced. Bullock stated, "As a Black woman, King has had to do that 1,000 times more." This simple yet powerful statement speaks volumes about the unspoken but widely understood truth in Hollywood. The challenges that Black women encounter are often magnified tenfold. Whether it's fighting for complex roles, securing opportunities behind the camera, or gaining the recognition they deserve, Black women must persist through obstacles that others rarely face. Despite these challenges, King has refused to let society's limitations define her worth or her ambition. Instead, she has made it her mission to break down barriers for herself and others. Throughout her decades-long career, King has not only achieved success as an actress, but has also established herself as a formidable director, a transition that reflects her desire to expand representation and control the narratives being told. Her groundbreaking directorial debut, One Night in Miami, is just one example of how she has used her platform to amplify Black voices and humanize the experiences of Black men. A testament to her commitment to elevating her community through her artistry. Regina King has always been deeply attuned to the nuances of race and identity, but her son, Ian Alexander Jr., had to grow into that awareness. Their journey together as mother and son reflects not only the complexities of growing up Black in America, but also the strength of their bond and the love they shared. When Ian was a child, he was blissfully unaware of the social and cultural weight attached to race. In a 2021 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, King shared a poignant story that captured her son's innocence in those early years. She recalled how he once asked her, "Why, when you guys talk, you guys being adults, do you always have to ask what color someone was?" The question revealed Ian's youthful naivety about the politics of race and his confusion over why it seemed so significant in adult conversations. King, as a mother, would have understood the need to let Ian hold on to his innocence for as long as possible, even as she prepared him for the reality of navigating the world as a Black man. As Ian grew older, his understanding of racial dynamics began to shift, shaped by the experiences and observations that inevitably come with maturity. King explained that Ian eventually started to notice certain situations and conversations that didn't sit right with him. She shared, it was because certain things were happening in conversations that were making him go, "Woo, okay, this doesn't feel right." This evolution is a familiar one for many Black children as they transition from a carefree childhood into a world where the realities of systemic racism and microaggressions become impossible to ignore. Ian's growing awareness mirrored the broader journey of so many young Black people who must reconcile their own identities with the inequities they encounter. Despite the challenges that come with these realizations, Ian maintained a deep appreciation for his mother and the role she played in his life. He saw Regina King not just as an accomplished actress and director, but as a constant source of love and strength. On her birthday in 2021, Ian shared a heartfelt tribute to King on Instagram, writing, "To have you as my mother is the greatest gift I could ask for." His words captured the depth of their relationship and the profound admiration he felt for her, not just as a parent but as a guiding force in his life. King, for her part, was equally vocal about her pride in Ian. In interviews and public appearances, she frequently described the special bond they shared and how he inspired her both personally and professionally. Their relationship was one of mutual respect and love, with King often crediting Ian as her greatest achievement. As a single mother, King's unwavering dedication to raising Ian shaped the decisions she made throughout her career, such as staying close to home to ensure she was present in his life. Ian's appreciation for his mother and his growing awareness of the complexities of race reflect a broader narrative about intergenerational learning within Black families. Parents like King often bear the responsibility of shielding their children from harsh realities while simultaneously preparing them for the challenges they may face. King's ability to balance these roles, protecting Ian's innocence while fostering his awareness, speaks to her strength and wisdom as a mother. Another notable event, the COVID-19 pandemic, brought emotional upheaval for many, and Regina King was no exception. As an artist, a mother, and a human navigating an unprecedented global crisis, King faced challenges that tested her emotional resilience and personal strength. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she admitted to feeling the weight of the pandemic's disruptions, sharing, "Sometimes I feel myself trying to push the emotions down." Her candid admission underscores the internal struggle many experience during this time, grappling with the tension between maintaining composure and reinforcing deep-seated emotional pain. For King, one of the most poignant heartbreaks of the pandemic was the inability to share her directorial debut, One Night in Miami, with audiences in theaters. The film, which reimagines a pivotal night in 1964 when Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown gathered to discuss their roles in the civil rights movement, was a deeply personal project. Its themes of racial justice, friendship, and change resonated strongly during 2020, a year defined by global protests against systemic racism and police brutality. King had poured her heart into crafting the film, not only as a storyteller, but as a Black woman determined to present a nuanced, humanized portrayal of Black men. The cinematic experience was central to her vision. She had dreamed of audiences gathering in theaters to witness the powerful performances, to feel the intimacy of the characters' dialogue, and to collectively reflect on the film's messages. The communal aspect of cinema, where shared emotions ripple through a darkened room, was something she had envisioned as integral to the impact of One Night in Miami. However, the pandemic had other plans. With theaters shuttered and large gatherings restricted, the traditional release King had hoped for was no longer possible. The film premiered instead on Amazon Prime Video, reaching audiences in the safety of their homes. While streaming provided accessibility during a time of lockdowns and social distancing, it lacked the magic of a theatrical debut, the kind of shared energy that can amplify a film's impact. King expressed her disappointment, feeling that the film's potential to foster collective dialogue and emotional resonance was diminished without the theater experience. This is probably the saddest event that happened to Regina King. The loss of her only son, Ian Alexander Jr., in January 2022 was a devastating blow that brought unimaginable grief to her. Ian, just 26 years old, tragically died by suicide, leaving his family, friends, and loved ones reeling from the sudden loss. For King, who had always shared a close and deeply loving bond with Ian, the heartbreak was immeasurable. She expressed her profound sorrow in a statement to People. "Our family is devastated at the deepest level by the loss of Ian. He is such a bright light who cared so deeply about the happiness of others." Ian was not just King's son. He was her greatest source of pride and joy. Their bond was evident in their public appearances and the way they spoke about each other. King often referred to Ian as her guiding star, and he reciprocated that admiration, frequently sharing how much his mother inspired him. On King's 50th birthday in 2021, Ian took to Instagram to write a heartfelt tribute. "To have you as my mother is the greatest gift I could ask for." Their relationship was filled with mutual respect, love, and unwavering support, making Ian's loss all the more devastating for King and her family. Ian's death was a reminder of the silent battles many people face, even when they outwardly radiate love and light. He was known for his vibrant personality, infectious energy, and deep concern for the well-being of others. A talented musician and DJ, Ian performed under the name Desdunay, creating music that showcased his creativity and passion. Despite his outward success and charm, Ian struggled internally, a reality that can be difficult for loved ones to fully understand or anticipate. The loss of Ian plunged King into a period of profound grief, forcing her to confront a pain that no parent should ever have to endure. As someone who had navigated immense challenges throughout her life and career, this loss was unlike anything she had faced before. Friends and colleagues in Hollywood rallied around her, offering love and support during this unimaginably difficult time. Yet, as King herself has acknowledged in past discussions about grief and hardship, there are no easy answers or quick fixes for such a loss. It is a journey that takes time, patience, and immense strength to navigate. In the wake of Ian's death, King's statement about his character and the legacy of his kindness highlighted the duality of his life, someone who brought so much happiness to others while quietly grappling with his own pain. "He is such a bright light who cared so deeply about the happiness of others," she said. This description of Ian resonated with those who knew him and those who have faced similar losses in their own lives, serving as a reminder of the importance of mental health awareness and compassion. What do you think about the sadness that Regina King has to go through? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.